Coach, it's been 4 games now that Herb and Dyson have been playing together in that starting line. What do you like so much? What's working so well with them there?
I like the fact that they're both big wings, physical defenders. It allows us to switch up on the perimeter, get through pick and rolls. We're getting stops, which really allows us to play our best basketball, which is in the open floor. So far it's been really good for us.
Do you think that duo helps push others to be more intense on the defensive end?
I do. I think both Dice and Herb, they're talking, they're communicating on the floor defensively. They're helping the other three guys get into positions, and they're covering up a lot. It allows JV to get back to the rim. He's getting more block shots. He's getting more rebounds. So, like I said, we like what we see so far from that group.
We've also seen Herb's offense kind of go up a little bit this season. What have you noticed with him just kind of improving on that end?
I like his decision making. He's rebounding the ball, getting out and pushing it in the open floor. He's knocking down shots. He's being a playmaker, and I think that's opening up his shot more.
One of the things Dyson said, he feels like it's been a key these last 4 games, just playing fast.
Yeah.
How do you coach that? Like, how do you? I mean, I know you talk about it all the time, but like, how do you actually get them to do that? The way we've seen these last 4.
The best way to play fast is to get stops. When you can get stops, you can rebound the ball. Now it forces guys to run down the floor. Even when teams make shots, we worked on it here in practice. On makes, let's get it out closest to the ball, take it out, get it up. Let's get into our offense. But it's definitely a point of emphasis for us. We do it in practice here with a number of fast drills, and we just want to continue to play as fast as we can. And then there's times where the game slows down. We have to get better with our execution in the fourth quarter, so we know that as well.
How encouraging has it been over the last 5 games that you guys are like near the top of the league in a bunch of different offensive categories, even though obviously you don't have a couple of big weapons on the court, just to be able to play that way?
It's extremely encouraging. Those results let us know that we're trending in the right direction. And we'll just continue to work on it throughout the course of the season. Obviously, we're going to get some guys back soon that'll be healthy, that'll help us even more. But this is our identity, and we know that we're capable night in and night out of getting stops, of rebounding the ball, and allowing our offense to flourish, especially with the passing.
In the half-court setting, it seems like you guys are getting creative with some of the spacing and taking advantage of a lot of like interior passing. Do you feel like in today's NBA it's a little bit of a lost art just being able to pass it like within the three-point line amongst each other?
I don't know if necessarily it's a lost art, but it's definitely something that we believe in. We believe in sharing the basketball, everybody being a part of the offense. And the interior passes is based on our personnel. You know, Zion is in the paint. Jonas is in the paint at times. So is B.I. We have to make those passes so that we can open up paint to great moments for us, paint to threes. And so whenever we can touch the paint or make passes to the paint, it allows us to kick out or have rim decisions from there.
Obviously, paint looks are one of the most efficient looks in the NBA. You guys got a lot of them last night, but was there a moment in that second quarter where you guys were trading twos, they were making threes, and you're kind of a little worried, like, okay, we've only attempted 6 threes. How are we going to be able to keep up with some of the math there?
Well, that does happen throughout the course of the game. You look at the stat sheet and you see, I think we had like 6 threes and they had 15 or something like that. But as long as we're playing our style, we know that we can shoot the ball efficiently. And if you can't stop us from getting to the rim, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to get to the free throw line. Eventually, it's going to collapse the defense, and we'll get more kickouts from there. But it was more about us trying to get stops, trying to force them to take contested shots. I thought we did a good job of that.
The last few weeks, which we've seen Z and BI working after practice together. How did that come about, and how's that progressing?
It's progressing. We want to continue when we have practice time to get them for 10 or 15 minutes, do a little bit of work in our offense, show some different reads that they may see during games. When we're evaluating our team, we realize that those two guys just haven't had a lot of time on the floor the last 3 or so seasons together and in actions together. So I think it's something that it's a component that we can go to at times during the game. It won't happen all game, but there are some moments throughout the course of the game where we want to put those two guys in some actions and be able to be efficient in those.
And we talk a lot about how injuries force guys to kind of take on a different role or do more while somebody's out. How much do you think CJ's absence has kind of put BI and Zion in a situation where they had to take a different approach or do something differently because his absence kind of coincided with y'all going on that losing streak and kind of being the guys that lead y'all out of it without CJ being there?
It definitely put more on their shoulders from a leadership perspective. Playmaking that have to do more. The beauty in it is that we figured it out. Like we're figuring it out together, and I think that's important. Is that we're figuring out how to go in games and be competitive and give ourselves a chance to win. Those guys are figuring it out as well, and so when we get CJ back and Trey and all of these guys, we'll be that much better. But that's a part of the NBA. You have ebbs and flows and highs and lows throughout the course of the season where you have some guys out. It's definitely going to put more on them. And the last five or so games, I thought we did a good job of handling it.
And obviously, you don't want CJ to be hurt, but is there a part of a silver lining to this that because you always push those two to be more leaders, more vocal, do you think that's kind of put them in a position to have to do that without CJ being there?
Well, I think that they do it anyway. When you have guys missing, it's just elevated. So that's a natural progression that you want to see from those two guys, which they're doing. But like I said, the beauty in it is you get to see some guys that we wouldn't have seen. We got a chance to see Hawk. We get a chance to see more of Dyson on the floor. It makes us a stronger team when we get fully healthy.
And that was going to be my other question. What kind of challenge is that going to be for you with all of these guards once everybody's healthy?
Yeah, it's going to be a good challenge. We believe in having a competitive team across the board. I think we're getting there, and it's going to force me to have to make some tough decisions, but that's what we want. We want to be in a situation where all of our guys understand that they can get on the floor and impact the game in a positive way. So when that time comes, you guys will be asking me questions about the lineups and roster and all of that, and we'll just try to put together our best team and go out and win games.
And along those lines, are there any updates on CJ, Trey, or Larry?
CJ and Larry practiced today, and Trey is still kind of in his progression to working his way back, but other than that, no major updates.
Full practices for CJ and Larry?
Full practice for CJ and Larry. Yeah.
Facing the Kings again, especially the way that the game went, what's the message to the team knowing that it might not just be an easy 40-point win again?
We don't think it's going to be an easy 40-point win for sure, and that's our message is how do we respond to a win? How do we respond to one of our most complete games? And we know that Sacramento is a team that came from, had a playoff run last season. They're going to look at film, and they're going to find ways to be better. It's going to be a more physical game. We have to be prepared for all of that.
How important was that step for CJ to go through practice today? Because you talked about how it's more of a medical thing. You got to just listen to what medical says with him. How big was it just to get him on the court today?
It was huge. It was huge for him. It was huge for all of us to see him on the floor today playing. And he'll continue to listen to the medical advice, and we'll go from there.
Zion says that it's going to take him some time to find his full rhythm. But when he's getting steals the way he is, just kind of blindsiding folks, do you feel like that's an indication of him kind of trending in the right direction in terms of finding his rhythm and his ability to time things and read the game?
I do. I'm really big on when you can impact the game in different ways, steals, defensive rotations, blocks, rebounds. It gives you a better flow offensively, and we saw some of that last night from Z.